Hi, I'm Chef Keith Snow. Welcome to my kitchen. I want to show you how to make your very own homemade caramel sauce. I hope you're not buying that stuff that comes in a jar because it's riddled with a lot of things that I wouldn't eat. So this is a very simple technique to do. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. First step is to turn on our burner, and we have just a regular stainless steel pot. Now what we're going to do is take 1 cup of regular, household sugar, throw it in there, and then this is 2 tablespoons of plain water. Okay, now if you paid attention in science class, when you cook sugar, you can make rock candy, and what happens is the sugars crystallize, and because all the molecules are the same, they'll crystallize and make rock candy. So a lot of times you'll see in recipes where they suggest you take a pastry brush with water and you sit there and paint the insides of this pot while you're making caramel to keep it from crystallizing. That's a bad thing because number 1, it's very dangerous. Number 2, for me it rarely works and it's a real pain in the butt. So what I like to do is take this, which is corn syrup, and this is not something that I like. I try not to buy any products that have this in it, but we're only going to use 1 little teaspoon of corn syrup, and I'll tell you why. Corn syrup is a sugar, but it's a different sugar than regular granulated sugar. So when you whisk that in there, those 2 sugars will block each other from forming rock candy, and that's important. Now we don't have to paint down the sides or mess with it. So once you mix those 2 ingredients in, and one thing to note about this pan, this is a straight-sided pan. If you have what's called a saucier, that's going to be a round-sided pan. It is much easier to make caramel. Just be careful in this case with this pan, if you're using one with straight sides, to dig in the corners. So now you can see, my camera too will get in there close, you just have dissolved sugar and water. Now what you're going to do here is let this cook, and what will happen is this will become very hot, and because it's thick, it's going to go way over the boiling point. This stuff is going to get extremely hot, 260 or so degrees. I forget the actual temperature that caramel can get to. But the point being is it gets super hot. So if you make this at home, you do not want to be distracted by phone calls, email. And you certainly do not want to have your handle over there. God forbid this would get on you or any of your kids, because it would make a very serious burn. Because like I said, that stuff is well over 200 degrees. It's thick, hard to wash off, so don't get it on yourself. So now we're just going to keep stirring this, and when it comes and starts to, what happens, it'll start to bubble up, and the bubbles will get real big, then the bubbles will go away, and after that the caramel will start happening, and you're cooking the sugars. So as those sugars caramelize, you'll see a little bit of an amber color in there. You want to keep whisking, and at that point you really need to watch this, because it can go from perfect to burnt, just like that. So we'll let this cook, and I'll show you how to complete it when it starts to get amber in color. Well, our caramel is starting to take on a little bit of an amber color. I'm going to tip it so our camera guy can look in there. This is where you really want to pay attention. You want to start whisking it. And what we'll do is we'll add 1 whole cup of heavy cream. This is organic heavy cream. And another thing to notice for safety, when I add this cream, which has a lot of water content, when I add it into that sugar, it is going to boil instantly, because this is well over 200 degrees, like I said. So you do not want to make this in a shallow pot, because it could come right over the edge and make a bad mess. So be careful and make sure you use a good sized pot. And as you can see, this is starting to get more and more colored. And when we put the cream in there, we'll whisk it down and we'll turn off the heat, and then we'll have caramel. And the addition of that corn syrup has kept this from crystallizing, works every time. And before I knew that trick, believe me, I've had dinner parties with people coming over where I had to make caramel sauce, and I've made it 3 times in a row where it turned to rock candy, and even though I was painting the sides with a brush. So that little trick is money. So now, like I said, what happened was it started to really bubble up, and now when the bubbles go away, that means you're really getting close to your caramel point. And the longer you cook this, the more intense, dark, earthy flavor your caramel sauce will have. If you just pour the cream in at this point, it's going to be a real light caramel. It wouldn't taste very good. We're getting close now. Okay, our sugar has gotten nice and dark. Now carefully we'll pour this in and watch what happens. Watch that steam, because that can burn. Just dump it all in. And now you want to whisk it together. Okay, our caramel sauce is now done. And it's thick like molten lava. What will happen is, as this cools off, it will become a little firmer. And what we'll do here is take it and we'll just pour it into this glass. You only want to do this in a nice thick Pyrex, because it could crack a glass that isn't made to take temperature changes. And there you have a nice caramel sauce, and that will thicken up and be beautiful on any type of dessert. So give it a try, but be careful.
The Harvest Eating community celebrates the benefits of a healthy eating lifestyle through seasonal, organic, and local foods. To view more of Chef Snow's recipe videos and to experience the Harvest Eating lifestyle, visit harvesteating.com. Harvest Eating, 4 seasons, 1 lifestyle.